everyone, and welcome to Heb's Home Crochet. In today's tutorial we're going to be looking at how to work stitches in the back loop only. So I've gone ahead and created a foundation chain, a slip knot on a foundation chain. If you'd like a more in-depth tutorial about how to create this, then you can head over to my channel. I'll leave a link in the description box below, and you can start your crochet journey by learning this slip knot and foundation chain, and then join me back here for this stitch. So to get started, I'm going to create half double crochets just because I like that the way the work looks in a half double crochet, but you can start with single crochets or double crochets. This stitch is working in the back loop only is amazing because it works with all stitch types, which is great. So there's no number of chains you need. You can be odd, even, whatever you fancy. I've gone ahead and chained 15 here. So to start my half double crochet, I'm going to work in the third chain from the hook. So not counting our chain on the hook, 1, 2 and 3. Make sure you yarn over before you insert. Yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And you're just going to repeat that all the way to the end, where I will meet you back, and we can start working in the back loop only to create a lovely ridge effect that this stitch brings. So once you have half double crocheted all the way to the end of your row, we then need to move on to our next row. So I like to chain 2 when I do a half double crochet and then turn my work, and I always count this chain 2 as the first stitch in the row. Some people don't, it's different for everybody, but if you're following a pattern, make sure you follow your pattern correctly instead of this tutorial when learning the stitch. So in order to work in the back loop only, we've created our stitches and we have these V's at the top of all of our stitches all along the row. We normally would insert our hook, so yarn over to do a half double crochet, insert into our hook, so that V, I'll try and show you, we're under both loops. But for the back loop only, instead of going under both loops of that V, we're just going to go under the back loop. So we only go under one loop instead of 2, and then you continue your half double crochet as usual. Now that might look a bit stretched and pulled up, but it will settle down once you continue the stitch along your row. So let's try that again. So yarn over into our next V, but into the back loop only. So only this loop here rather than both loops of that V. So yarn over, insert into that back loop only, and continue your half double crochet. And again, yarn over, that back loop only, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. And you just continue that way all the way to the end. And then once you reach the end, it's exactly the same as starting this row. You chain 2 and turn your work and then continue. So can you see now how those stretched stitches are settling down? And then we've also got this raised ridge coming along here. That will probably be more apparent as you build your work. But what it means is those front loops are kind of coming outwards. So you get lovely ridges all up your work and on different sides as well. So your work almost becomes reversible, which is amazing. So let's work this stitch all the way to the end in those back loops only. So only into the back loop, the loop that's furthest away from you on that V. And then you can turn your work and start again on the other side. Last stitch, chain 2, turn your work. So now you can, I don't know if you can see, sorry. If we turn our work like this, you can kind of see that these stitches are raised and these ones kind of dip inwards. Don't know how well you can see that on there. And on this side, the bottom row is raised and the top row dips inwards. And that's how your work, it will be alternated like that the more you continue. So I'll do another row and I'll meet you back at the end just so we can go over turning and starting a new row one more time, and then you hopefully be able to get a better idea of what your work will start to look like once you've built a few more rows. So I've built my work up a bit more now so you can see the more defined stitch pattern, which I really love. And as you can see all the ridges, all the indents, like the dips in where you've pushed rows backwards and other rows have come forward. So insert your hook once you get to the end of that row, chain 2, so yarn over, pull through twice and turn your work over. Then you need to go into the very first back loop, so this V here at the bottom of that chain 2, insert your hook just under that back loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3, and into that next back loop. And you just continue this way all the way to the end until you have built your project or swatch as big as you would like. Remember that this stitch can be worked in any number of stitches, so odd or even, etc. So it's great for scarves, blankets, etc. And it can be worked with any yarn, which is great as well. So once you reach the end here, you just need to tie off and sew in your ends. I'm not going to do that with you today, but you can finish your swatch in the way that you prefer. So that's it for today's tutorial. Come back next week for another basic stitch type.